Are you near a computer, Rick?
Test.
Nah, not that I can hear off. I don't have anything audio-wise on mine. But I can probably hear a little bit over the... I've got a good studio. I mean, the receive is excellent.
Okay, it's up and running. You can watch it later when you have, time, or when you get to the computer. You can look up through my call sign. There's a link to it, and it's Sunday afternoon, today's date.
Okay, not a problem. I'll get my tablet out and try to see what's going on here. But I'm going to switch over to the other unit. Thank you guys for tolerating a little bit of our float around. KC2HTV, QSY.
Yeah, just talk a little bit more so we get a better sound here.
Okay, yeah, I'm using an MC60 microphone, about quarter throttle on my mic gain. And ALC from these old radios into the newer amplifiers has never been a great thing to use, but my SBE amplifier is a little bit touchy. She'll kick out just a little bit. Oh, excuse me. She'll kick out just a little bit of high clipping.
Okay, that should be good. And boy, I don't know, guys. I don't know if that is RF.
Yeah, either way, I'm going to flip back over to the 7851. She gets a little bit jealous if I don't pay attention to her.
Yeah, radios are like that, I understand.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's going on there. It's almost like a clipping, so that's why I was thinking RF, W2 VOA.
USA.
Yeah, shoot. I'm sorry, Rick. We can't help you too much there.
Victor Alpha 3 Kilo, Bravo Charlie.
But yeah, check it out. When you get a chance to listen to it, and see what you think. Are you still there, Rick, or do you leave?
He might have left, and I think he's going to hook the other radio up.
Yeah, I think he boot. He's got to get on the big radio. I love that other rig he's on. He's on the 7851.
Not too many signals on 40 meters here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can see from 7170 up to 7250.
That's weird, isn't it? I just noticed that. Yeah, it won't look like that this evening.
Yeah, it just seems through the daytime that 40 meters just does not want to play very well.
Oh, I don't know. It's pretty good. Shoot, I got down here about 9 o'clock this morning, I think. Richie was in there with the Hermes, and he's got it hooked up to an amp, but he's got to get the audio up a little bit hotter. I think just wasn't hitting the amp hard enough, I'm glad he's finally got an amp hooked up, though.
What's that saying? Oh, yeah, amplifiers are for your friends.
Yeah, that's for sure.
But you know, I've always said since I become a ham 11 years ago that the first thing we need is propagation, and then a good antenna, and then a radio, and then an amplifier. Without propagation, everything else doesn't matter. It's mute. But after propagation, having a good antenna, that's number one.
Yeah, go ahead there, contact. You got him, DJ? You lost him.
I hear someone there, but I can't make him out.
Hello, radio. KC2HTV.
That's more better.
There you are.
That's more better.
I gotta play with that old stuff, man. It's just something about it. It looks so cool sitting there. That was enlightening. I could take the, it's an old 440 Kenwood. I took the, I think it's the accessory one output, and that did in turn fire the amplifier after changing jumpers around on the circuit board and the radio. But when I started firing, I knew something was going on. I could hear a screech, so I shut everything down, checked the coax. Sure enough, I had a loose coax connector going to one of my switch boxes. But after that, I got lost. I was like, well, we'll have to listen to it, and I'll pay attention to what he recorded, see if I can figure it out from there. But 25 watts on the Kenwood was giving me 1,000 out in mid-range on my amp. I'm like, yeah, I get heard now. What a difference, though, man. Oh, God, I love that. That Acom sounds sweet. Yeah, I didn't want her getting jealous either. Happy Easter, by the way, Bri. Good to hear you from the northern tier. Cooking up some ham here. I think you probably got another hour. Yeah, I'll make some mashed taters and go with it. A little bit of kern on the curb, and we'll see what that takes us. Probably into a Netflix type coma.
That's what we're gonna have.
Same here. Doing a ham and ham dinner. And yeah, happy Easter there, Rick. And I appreciate that other unit in there that did the recording for me. That will be most instructive there. KC2HTV, Rick in Kidder Lake, New York.
And I'm still live streaming too, so you'll hear the difference between the other radio and what you're on now. Because boy, what an improvement.
That's the difference between a mint condition 36-year-old radio and a $14,000 or $15,000 year-old radio. There is a difference, but no, I do like the old timers, and if I can get them playing good with that amplifier, that's an SPE 1.5 KFA. It'll do 16, 17 all day long with the MOSFETs, built-in tuner. But it's really touchy. If you run a high ALC going into it, she don't like it.
Well,
did you get DJ's call? I did not.
Victor Alpha 3 Kilo Bravo Charlie. Victor Alpha 3 Kilo Bravo Charlie.
Okay, copy. Victor Alpha 3 Kilo Bravo Charlie, and it's, what was the handle?
Name's Don, but I go by DJ.
I spoke with you yesterday, DJ. Cool. Thank you ever so much for doing that for me. It's amazing what you're getting up there in the Great White North.
Yeah, but we're not north. Everybody's, Canada, north. Well, sometimes latitude-wise, we're east-west of each other. Sometimes you guys, like you get into Maine and Vermont, they're actually higher latitude than what I am. So just because I'm in Canada, I'm not north.
Man, you ain't drinking all them beers and saying all them neat things that I hear on my TV. Come on, you're breaking my heart.
I don't drink beer anymore. Actually, I like the Sleeman's 2.0. I'm diabetic. I just on what is Synjardia and I forget what the other one is, Trajecta. I'm not on the needle or anything. So, but as far as beers, I just don't stomach them like I used to. I will have a Sleeman's 2.0 clear, in the summertime when I start grilling more. But I don't know. I'm just not a big drinker anymore. I guess maybe it's my age. I'm going to be 71 come May 12th.
Yeah, DJ, I just looked. You are actually a tad south of me.
I'm from the southern part of Ontario.
Yeah, I'm so used to most people being north of me, across the lake, but you're actually let me look again here. Yeah, well, you're across the lake a little bit, small part of the lake there, near Niagara Falls, and you're up there. What lake is that? Huron.
Yep, I'm just a half a mile walk overlooking the banks of Lake Huron. A lot of good pickerel fishing, perch, yellow lake perch. Oh, that's the best eating. There's walleye. Well, that's our pickerel. Trout and salmon. They have the salmon derby on sometime in May, I believe it is.
That's a big lake, boy.
Oh, yeah.
Kilo Delta 2, Echo, Yankee, Mike.
Yeah, I'm only 4 miles north of, 4 miles south of Lake Ontario. It's right at the end of my street. That's station calling. Go ahead.
Kilo Delta 2, Echo, Yankee, Mike.
Kilo Delta 2, Echo, Yankee, Mike. Good afternoon. This is Whiskey 2, Voice of America, Brian, in Medina, New York.
Copy that. I didn't catch your call sign. What was that again?
Yeah, Whiskey 2, Voice of America.
Copy that. Whiskey 2, Voice of America. I'm over here in Buffalo, New York.
Oh, yeah, you're not too far from me. I'm up in Medina.
That's pretty close.
Yeah, Brian, probably not too far from your place when we used to go to Woodburn, New York, to friends of ours.
Yeah. I'm right by Lindenville, Ridgeway. It's actually Ridgeway where I'm located here. But I just tell everybody Medina. It's easier that way. But yeah, I'm definitely out of the village limits. I won't even call it a city. Out here in the Amish cornfield. Country.
Yeah, it'd be beautiful country.
Oh, it is, dude. It is.
Both of you a good poke northwest of me. Northwest. No, not north, not west, but northwest. Man, my lake would only be a puddle on his. Good Lord.
Where they name the horses Horse.
Yeah, and then there's Buffalo.
Speaking of Buffalo, anybody else copy Dave?
Yes.
Yeah, I just heard him a second ago, didn't it?
Yep, I'm here. Just listening.
I heard him talk, but I didn't catch all of it.
I'm here, just listening, here in Buffalo, New York. Well, actually, the outskirts of it. I'm actually in Amherst, New York, just northeast of Buffalo.
He's still a little light on me, Brad. What'd he say?
He's just outside of Amherst, Buffalo, New York.
Ah, Amherst. Now I got a better pick. Man, he is a ways away. I reckon it'd be that about 4.5 hour, 5 hour drive for me.
Yeah, we went through Buffalo once, but most of the time we would go through Niagara Falls across, what's that, 190, I guess it is. We'd take 190 and we'd go to Woodburn, New York. It was 503 miles for us, I believe, if memory serves. I think that's what it was. Or was it 300? No, 503, I think it was, yeah. It was about an 8-hour drive.
Hey guys, I got to bail for a little bit. I got to go for a ride. I'll be back in a little bit. W2 VOA.
What'd you forget for dinner?
Okay, Brian.
Yeah, I got to give my dad a ride somewhere.
All right, catch you later, bro. Voice of America from Hot Tomato Vine. Catch you a little bit, Bryce. 73.
Yeah, W2 VOA. Catch you guys in a little bit. If anybody's still around. Hey, DJ, good to hear you, man. 7-3, brother. And happy Easter. W2 VOA, clear.
7-3 there, Brian. And anybody else listening, I am live streaming on YouTube. There's a link from my QRZ page, Victor Alpha 3 Kilo, Bravo Charlie.
Hey, DJ, what kind of streaming service you get, or what kind of broadband do you have there to support your streaming?
Well, that's the secret. I did have OBS, and then I went to Streamlabs. It's a little bit more modern, I guess. But when I had DSL through Eastlink, I couldn't stream. It was I was paying for 20 down, and I was only getting about 15 down and about 0.5.6 megabytes up. So streaming was pretty well impossible. Once ExecuLink came through and put in fiber optic, now I'm paying for 500, and I'm getting anywhere from 380 to 450 depending on the day, and if my wife's watching something on her iPad or my daughter or whatever, and then that's download. Like I said, 380 to 4.25, somewhere around there. But upload is can be anywhere from 185 to 285. So that is why I can stream now, having fiber optics here. So made a big difference. And as I said, it's Streamlabs. It's a free service, and it just took a little time to get it all configured and everything. And I more or less just do it so guys can, if they have some audio issues, they can hear it and see what their signal looks like. If they got a bunch of IMD, they can see on the waterfall the IMD, all those kinds of things. So it's just a little fun thing to do. It doesn't cost anything, and it's saved to my YouTube page there as well for later viewing, and that's just another thing, another way of expressing amateur radio. Victor Alpha 3 Kilo Bravo Charlie at the top of the hour.
Whiskey Alpha 2 Alpha Romeo.
Kilo Charlie 2 Hotel Tango Victor. Yeah, that's a good backbone there. I think our service here, I'm running about 350 down, and I'm thinking about 18 to 20 up. I mean, it's slow on the upside, but it's a lot better than it used to be. You definitely got to get out there to fiber. They're starting to work out in our area, but it's low on their priorities anyway. KC2HTV.
Yeah, we stream everything. We've got what do we got? 4 Fire Sticks. So we stream everything. I've subscribed to Paramount Plus, Discovery Plus, and then if you really enjoy some history and documentaries and science, just a whole mess of stuff, there's Curiosity Stream. It's $20 a year. But we like Paramount Plus because of Yellowstone, 1923, 1883, Mayor of Kingstown, and Taylor Sheridan's shows. And then Discovery Plus for Street Outlaws and what's the other one? For Pete's sakes, the Gold Rush and those types of shows, because we also have the regular programming that we subscribe to out of the States. And, oh, man, you watch regular programming, and they go to advertisement. There's about 14 advertisements. It's about 5 minutes long. Hell, you can go do your laundry, go to the bathroom, do the dishes, and then come back, and the last commercial's done, and then you can start watching the program again for another maybe 5 to 8 minutes, and then they go to commercial again. At least with Paramount Plus or Discovery Plus, commercials may be 15 seconds or 45 seconds, and that's it. So it's just a lot more enjoyable, and I don't mind paying. It's $5.95, I think, for Discovery Plus, and Paramount, I think, was jumped up to $9 or something. But I signed up for 6 months, so I got a discount. But anyhow, that's just us here, and we don't watch any of the other regular programming, any of the news, any of that crap there. So what we get is what we kind of like to watch.
Yeah, I've been streaming since before it was popular, back in the days where she frees up and have to buffer and load, and that's a whole different ballgame. I've got Spectrum here. They're not bad. New York State tried to boot them out because they didn't fulfill their commitments, and that was to run fiber line. So they got in big trouble. They finally got their stuff straight. But Comquest and the rest of the the loaders that go off of their network, they're nowhere near as good. Consolidated had them before Spectrum, which used to be
Hey, well,
yeah, what did they call that? Man, anyway, I had Com, and they had like 25 down and 2 to 3 up. Man, I'll tell you what, you could not watch a movie like that. And I do, and now, of course, now it's great, but still $50 a month, it ain't bad. I used to use DSL when people were still using dial-up modems, so I've been at the game for a while, but I just could not catch a break for a long while with speed.
Yeah, we were fortunate with Eastlink or Execulink coming through. In town at the shop, when we built a shop in Forest, when we moved from the farm, on the farm and here, it was just Eastlink was the only game in town, DSL. Once we built the shop in town, there's Eastlink and Execulink. So we went with Execulink, and I think it's 80 or something like that. And it's a cable what Mark has at the shop in town there. But here, they went along Lakeshore Road with fiber optics because it's just, everything is done by internet now, and the government gave a grant, I think, to Execulink to run this fiber optics. So when I heard about that, I jumped on it and signed up right away, and we were one of the first to get hooked up. So no contracts or anything, and I can go on their website. I can change. I think originally I was at 200, and then I bumped it up to 500 because our daughter was going to be here, and when the grandkids are here and their iPads, I just thought, for I forget what it was, another $10, just have a little of that buffer, and we have no issue whatsoever. So paying for that 500, and in doing so, we got a new modem and a new router, and we just pay a monthly $6.99 or something for the router, and if anything goes wrong with it, we get a new one. So it's top of the line, and it was far better than what we had with Eastlink and DSL, because it was always going down. The system was old. The stations were always having issues. So with this, we've never had any issues at all. VA3 KBC.
Yeah, before I got this Spectrum, it was actually called Roadrunner, and they were all over the country at one point. But their nodes were good for about maybe 40 or 50 people. They would load down in the afternoons, and your speeds would go right down into the dirt. I mean, down into the dirt. So it's come a long ways in 10, 15 years. The amplifiers, they're not burning up in the heat like they do normally in the summer. We get extreme cold, and people think a hot will destroy the amp. Well, when you get it 30, 40 below zero, they'll destroy electronic components just as quick, especially if they're mounted kind of poorly to start with. And yeah, we did get the free modems, but this is a no-contact company. They do not have a brick-and-mortar office anywhere that I could find. And if you do, you'd have to probably drive 300-400 miles. I think they have one there in Buffalo. But I'm like, nah. I also had Hughes Network satellite. Man, what a junk pile that was. You mean expensive to the max. But I think it was like 7.5 gig up, or no, 7.5 gig down, and I think up was like about less than 1,000, probably about 900. Man, that was nasty. KC2HTV.
Roger, yeah. With Eastlink, they used to be Exelco and People's Telephone. Then Eastlink bought them out. People's Telephone was in town. I had shares with them. A lot of us did have shares with them. They sold out, bigger conglomerates buying them out. Ended up with Eastlink, and they were from Nova Scotia. So whenever you called, you didn't know who you were going to talk to. And with Execulink, it's owned locally. There's a store in Thetford, which is about a 15-minute drive. So when I upgraded the Wi-Fi router, I just went to Thetford there and took the other one in and got the new one and hooked it up. And I think their main office may be in Elmer, but they have stores locally. So when I call the number, it's somebody I know that's from Forest because she works there. And the techs, live in town here, so them. They one guy's bought a bunch of stuff, Echo stuff from our shop. So it's all local, and that's what we like to do. That's why I was really happy that Execulink was coming through with the fiber optics. So good company. Like I said, no contracts. They didn't charge us for running the cable or anything like that, hooking it all up. So just nice to have that service. But yeah, the Roadrunner, and you said around the country, that's what I was thinking of, the bleep bleep and the Roadrunner running around.
Yeah, that's a name I'll never forget. I mean, back in the days of AOL, when all this stuff was starting to break loose, you had pretty much a home port to surf from. I laughed at it because, I started with modems talking to each other over phone lines before there was an interweb or internet, and we did just fine. We played games, we did what we wanted, we networked. But it's come a long way, baby. But I do like customer service, and I'll pay extra for that. But that network I'm with right now, no. Within 4 hours, they'll have a FedEx truck out here with a box with a modem in it. They're that fast, but they're not customer conducive. There, over.
So there's a bit of a trade-off, and I guess that's in any business that you deal with today. Nothing is perfect. Nothing is like it used to be. Man, I remember in the day, used to go to co-op, go back to the lumber yard, pick up stuff, go through the store, pick up some stuff, and you had it written down on a piece of paper, and you stuck it on the counter, and you tell them, build me. And the way you'd go home and then finish building something, and at the end of the month you get an invoice, and you go in and pay it. And then the computer system started to come in, and you had to go to the front and tell them what you wanted. They print it all out. Then you take that invoice to the backyard and get the stuff. And it just was more time consuming. But that's just the way things started to go. From how we used to do things with a handshake and just a wave and tell them what you got. And I was board of directors at the co-op here in town. So I actually one winter went through all the SKUs and adjusted all the SKUs into the computer, set it so that because some of the stuff started to get obsolete, so that was going into the dead zone more or less. And did that for one winter because farming, we were just cash crop, didn't have any cattle or anything, so I had the time in the winter, and being one of the board members, I was actually the secretary. I took the minutes. So I did that for one winter and learned a lot of how stock goes and the SKUs, and over the period of years, you look at the sales of it, and then all of a sudden it becomes to where the sales get lower and lower, and you got this stockpile of stuff, and then it goes dead. So it's funny how in business, that happens, and you have a lot of dead stock. And here in Ontario, Canada, you may write that off, but you got to pay the provincial sales tax on 8% to the government, even though it's dead and you're throwing it out. You got to pay the government. So whenever year end comes, your inventory, and even myself with my Amsoil business, you always tried to keep the inventory down really low for year end when you did your inventory and had your final totals, so that you didn't have to pay tax on that. And I learned that when I worked at John Deere. I went to service school up in Grimsby. They had the new warehouse there, and this is what they're saying. We were looking at the warehouse, and it was only about a quarter of the stock in there as far as parts, and that's what they said. We try to keep the bare minimum, otherwise the government taxes on it, because that's potential income. So running a business, there's a lot of stuff that you got to do, and you really got to manage it. Is the big word to use. It's got to be managed so that the government doesn't rape you all the time. Victor Alpha 3 Kilo Bravo Charlie.
And Kilo Charlie 2 Hotel Tango Victor. Yeah, pregnant pause there. No, you're right. We used to have a lot of co-ops and associations in this area, KPAs, even Agway, the Agway groups. But when dairy farming started dropping out because the government took over the cost of the milk, that drove the fields down. The fields went down. The apple crops started dropping off and screwed up winters, and they pretty much devastated our ag here, but whatever was left, they'd rape. So yeah, I am aware of that, man. I am, and it really sucks to watch that whole evolution. I was telling Joanne today, I remember when I was 12 years old, driving a big old farm haul on the farm down the street here, Burfield Farm. And, we didn't have no driver's license, so I was 12 years old, and I worked my ass off. And that was dairy. Now they got all these little popcorn farms around here that the city people like and politicians like and all that kind of crap, but they don't pay the bills. And most of those are Angus. I mean, anybody can run an Angus. To get dairy, now that's hard work. KC2HTV.
So,
7.
What are you complaining about?
7 days a week, and a lot of times the guys may milk 3 times a day, but generally two milkings, and but it's 7 days a week, 365 days a year.
What are we talking about? Anything and everything, but it's just. I don't think the government at large is into too many things, and they should get out of agriculture. If they would drop a bomb on their economy and their taxes and all that, but hell, we'd be better served as people to do that.
Most bureaucrats that run things have never operated any type of equipment or business or anything, so they're college educated. But what's that saying? Dumb as a bag of hammers. So it may look
dead end. Get out.
It may look good on paper. You figure it out on hey, this works on paper, but in reality, it never does.
Get out of agriculture. There's no future in it.
I did back in 2015.
Yeah, it's a tough way to make a living. I wouldn't tell anybody to get out of it. If that's their love, that's their partial, go for it. My stepson works on a dairy farm. He's a herd master. Don't make a whole lot of money, but I'll tell you what he does make, he works for. He doesn't back up in the food line or anything like that, and he doesn't need Catholic Charity Services. He does not need the government to subsidize his living. He makes it the hard way.
Oh boy, that's a measure of success. You don't need charity. Boy, that must be rewarding.
Okay, I guess it's time to cut the stream here. Rich, you have a good day, and I'm going to say adieu. I'm going to cut this stream because, well, anyhow, have a good day, everybody. This is Victor Alpha 3 Kilo.